Hello again. Welcome to another Bishop Tale. We have a good tale today, but first an update. I waited patiently by my door, and I had my high hopes set on denture fit. They call it a soft reline, and it's kind of like a silicone gel that goes in between your dentures and your gums and provides some cushion. And it also makes it a little bit more snug. So you don't have to use adhesive, and it makes it more comfortable when you're trying to eat. And I was thinking this was gonna make my upper dentures wonderful. This is gonna be what I need. Bottom dentures are still good. I've been practicing with them. Top dentures have been horrible, very painful. So I watched the videos on their website. I watched some of Heather's videos, and I got to work, and I did my top upper denture first. You clean it real good, you put some primer on it. It's almost like a two-part epoxy, and then you take a syringe and you squirt this gel on the inside, and then you hold it up into your mouth for 4 minutes. So I did everything perfectly. I followed the instructions, and when I took my top denture out, I looked inside and I saw that my upper gums, there's just these big gaps, these big spaces where they didn't even make contact with my denture. You're supposed to squirt a line of gel, and then your mouth sort of crushes it, splishes it out the edges, and it makes a real nice seal if your denture is close to good. Apparently my gums have changed, because here I'll show you a picture. Right there you can see on that whole right side, my gums didn't even make contact, and that's been the side that's causing me the most pain. So I got to go back to the dentist and ask him what's going on. It can be such a roller coaster, guys. The ups where you get all hopeful and all excited, and the downs where things don't go the way you want them to, or it's harder than it seems. And I've been through so many ups and downs in the past three and a half months. I think, oh, this is going to be the time when I'll have my teeth and I'll be able to smile and I'll be able to eat again. And it doesn't happen. It's a kick in the crotch. And I think I've decided that I'm just going to not get excited anymore. I'm going to try to remember what it was like before I had my teeth extracted, because back then I couldn't smile either, and I struggled to eat food, and I wasn't good. So now, having made some progress, I can say I have some teeth in my mouth. Oh my gosh, you guys, the bottoms. So I squirt the gel in again. I try not to get my hopes up. I push them in and it feels good. I mean, it feels tight, even while it's drying. And the next day, you know, they tell you to take them out for a couple hours to let the silicone harden and completely set. So I take them out, and the next morning I put my dentures in with the new silicone in there, and it is tight. If I don't have the silicone gel in there, it's like, you know, you put your hand in an oven mitt, right? Got my oven mitt right here, stick my hand in there, and oh, look at that. I can move. My fingers have room. It's not tight at all. It's pretty loose, right? My oven mitt. But you go and you put this gel that expands or fills all those holes, and now all of a sudden you're looking at putting your Ohio State glove on. Go Buckeyes. There we go. Get them nice and on there good, right? Got your Ohio State glove. Now you put on your oven mitt, and oh my gosh, I can't squeeze, I can't move my fingers, everything is tight. And that's what the denture fit does. It's a good thing, it is, but it's gonna feel tight. You're gonna have to get used to this, you know? But now, when I'm biting on my food, there's a lot of cushion in there, you know? I don't feel it. It's supposed to be tight, it's supposed to grip, it's supposed to hang on to your gums. It is really tight, and it was painful. Oh my gosh. Like, I tried to do it for the first minute and it hurt so bad. Yes, it is a soft cushion, but it squeezes. And if you have fresh, young gums like I do, my gums are healing still. They're all pink and soft. To me, it felt like I was putting a clothespin on my gums. It was pinching that much. So it can be quite painful. If you take your clothespin and you put it on your skin like this, yeah, I mean, it pinches, and you have to just let it pinch. And there's nothing you can do other than try to escape the pain, you know? Like that. So go ahead and ignore that pain, Bishop. You know, maybe if it was in my pinky toe, way down there, I could sort of let it go. But having it right in your mouth, and then to try to breathe and to talk with your pain, I mean, this is what's happening in my mouth right now, guys. So it's taken me a couple of days of practice. And I talk a little different. It's a little trickier. Yeah. So I know it hurts. I know it sucks, but you just do it. You get used to it. And if I can do it, you can do it too. So, whew. Can you see the little marks? That's enough of that. So, yeah, I have teeth. I still have a little bit of hope, but it's a little bit of hope. And then I have a little bit of disappointment. And if the two are the same, I can find a balance and be okay with it. So find your balance, okay? See yourself. Let's get into the story, huh? Are you ready? Today's story is about vasectomy. In my first video, I said that I had never had any surgery and never broken any bones, and I was mostly correct. I did have a vasectomy, and it was pretty scary. So maybe you are considering it, maybe you've already done it. Before we get into that, let's do some background, why not? Once upon a time, the bishop was, guys, my childhood was very normal, okay? I had a mother and a dad. I lived in the suburbs. My dad went to work, my mom stayed home. I had a younger sister who was 1 year younger than me, and I had a younger brother who was like 9 years younger than me. So I can remember at age 10, you know, learning how to change diapers and fill a bottle, and I taught my little brother how to walk and how to do everything. He was like my practice kid, and it was a good time, you know. I was happy, and I thought this was the way life was supposed to be, you know. You think everything is normal. The Mountain Dew is normal. My mom and dad fighting every 9 months or so was normal. My mom would be crying, and I wouldn't know why, and I just thought, that's what moms and dads do, right? So the years went on, and around age 15, in my lifetime, my mom and dad had a big fight, and my mom said she wanted to split. You know, before, my dad would go spend the night in a hotel or a weekend in a hotel, and it was no big deal. He would tell us everything was okay. My mom would say, it's okay, we're just having an argument. But this time was different. My mom said she was done. I learned at age 15 that my dad had been cheating. He liked to have sex with the other women at work or the neighbor lady. He was a pretty equal opportunity kind of guy, and my mom was hurt. She was crushed. And it was a messy split. My dad said, hey, we should stay together for the kids. And my mom said, I just can't put up with your cheating anymore. And my dad tried to be manipulative and controlling, and my mom was just crushed. She was broken. And I was in the middle, and my siblings, we didn't know what to do, you know. This had never gone to this level before. Before it was like, I don't know, just an argument. Now it was, this is really happening. So my dad moved his stuff out, and I helped him. I helped him carry his weight up from the basement. I helped him move out of our house, and he loaded up his van. And I remember he and I and my mom standing in the driveway, and he looked at my mom and he said, this is all up to you. You can control this. You can make this stop. You know, just say the word, and we'll go back to being a happy family again. And my mom said, I just can't. I can't do it anymore. So my dad looked right at me and he said, Bishop, you're the man of the house now. You got to take care of your mother. Good luck with that. And then he got in his van and he drove off. And all I could do was stand there in our driveway and cry. You know, my mom was crying. She gave me a big hug, and we went inside. went into our home. So it was not easy. This was 1992, and I was just starting my teenage years. You know, I was getting my driver's license, and back in the 90s, divorce, I don't know, in my world it wasn't as popular a thing, and they would say that you had a broken family or a broken home. And my mom reached out to the counselors at school, and she said, hey, you know, my kids are going through this. Can you talk to them? Can you, see if they're okay? So it became this weird, twisted thing where people would come up to you and say, hey, Bishop, are you okay? You know, are you sad? Are you depressed? Are you feeling angry? What are you doing? And, you know, in the beginning, you'd say, yeah, I'm okay. I think I'm good, you know, just going to school, right? Trying to carry on with life. But after another week or so, they'd be like, hey, you know, do you need someone to talk to? No, I'm good. Bishop, are you sure you don't need someone to talk to? Come on, talk to us. We're here. Are you angry? Are you sad? And at some point, you just get sick of hearing it, and you say, okay, I'm freaking angry. I'm freaking sad. I'm everything. What am I supposed to do, right? I have no control. I'm a kid. So the counselor said, well, come, let's talk about it, you know. So I'd sit there and I'd talk and I'd tell them what happened, and they'd listen and they'd take little notes and they'd go, And in the end, there was nothing they could do about it. My dad still played tug of war with us. He didn't want to pay child support. My mom, single mother, 3 kids, didn't have a job for like 15 years of my life because she had kids. That was her job. She was a full-time mother. So without child support, she wasn't making it. And she had to go get a job now, and kids had to fend for themselves, you know. It was a pretty tough time. I think I sort of broke inside, and my world sort of said, I was mad at my mom, I was mad at my dad. My dad was the aggressor, right? He did the wrong, he committed the crime. My mom, I felt like, why now, Mom? Like, it had been many years of this. Like, why did you say no now? And why couldn't you just carry on? You carried on for this long, right? I mean, it wasn't until many years later that I learned that my dad forced my mom to have a threesome with the neighbor lady, and that was pretty bad. It traumatized her, and I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry that happened, and I'm sorry that I'm sharing it with the rest of the world, but it was a long time ago, huh? I'm ready to heal from it, and I hope you have healed from it too. I hope you moved on. So, at that time in my life, the anger turned into, I think marriage is just bad. I think having kids is just bad. When I grow up, I am not going to get married. I swear I'm not going to get married, and I am not going to have kids because I don't want to put them through what I went through. I had some crappy role models, you know. These are the 2 people that taught me what normal love is, and it wasn't good. So I swore to myself, and that sort of somehow made me feel a little bit better, was to know that I would not make the same mistakes. You know, that's all you can do sometimes. So life went on, and I was very careful with every girlfriend. I said no getting pregnant, and I meant it. And I bounced through life. I started smoking after my dad left, and I started smoking cigarettes and weed and alcohol, and I started to hang out with the bad kids, the other broken kids, because, you know, once you get labeled. So I think I'm around 26 years old now, and I meet a woman named Raven, like the bird, Raven. And I don't know, we're kind of good friends. We're both sarcastic, we're both funny, we're both smart. Raven's history is that she had a husband and they wanted to have kids. They were high school sweethearts. They wanted to do the thing where you get married and you have a house and you have some kids, and she wanted to be a mother. So when they tried to get pregnant, they struggled. And they did the fertility and the calendar and the ice packs and the meds and everything just to try to get pregnant. And it didn't work, didn't happen. Eventually, by some miracle, boom, it happens, and she has twins. She goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, wow, congrats. And, you know, you got twins coming, so get ready. After the twins are born, the doctor says, you know what? Your womb is so scarred from these twins. With all the meds and all the fertility, they probably had like 16 or 17 fetuses. Is that how do you say it, fetus? Is it feti? All these fetuses in that womb just fighting over each other and fighting and absorbing each other, and like a gladiator school in there. So they said, hey, you will probably never conceive children again. I'm sorry, but you got your twins, so be happy. Raven was happy. Her husband was like, twins. You know, it's different when you expect one kid and you get surprised with 2 or 3 or 4, I don't know. Raven and her husband eventually divorced. That's a whole nother story. But I came along and I kind of liked Raven. I liked her ferocity. She was strong. She was a single mother. Her twins were about 2 years old, and they were cute kids, and I was good with kids. I'd play with them. I don't know. Raven and I like to smoke weed. We smoked a lot of weed, and we like to have sex. And Raven told me about her pregnancy and the difficulties, and she said, you know, I was told that I can never get pregnant. And of course, Bishop's like, oh yeah, no condoms. I'm good with that. So Raven and Bishop have friends with benefits, and they have a lot of weed, a lot of sex. We're not relationship stuff. There's no love because Bishop keeps his heart at a distance. He says, hey, you've got 2 kids. You were looking for a husband. I'm not that guy, but I'll hang out with you for a little bit. So we hung out, and it was good. It was a good year or 2. We got to a point where we said, you know what? We're kind of holding each other down. Bishop, you're holding Raven down because Raven needs a husband. She needs somebody that wants kids, somebody that wants to do this with you, you know, wants to join you financially. And Raven said, yeah, I know. And Bishop, you don't want kids, so we should probably go the other way. And I had this idea. I said, hey, let's go out with a bang. And if we must say goodbye, let's have one last night together, and we'll do it right, you know? So we got a big old bag of marijuana and a big old bottle of alcohol, and we stayed up all night. And it's pretty cool when you both know it's your last night together because you cherish it, and every touch and every kiss is your last, and every breath into each other's mouth is your last, and you don't want to say goodbye. You don't want that sun to come up. You take little pauses, go to the bathroom, smoke some more weed, drink some more alcohol, and then you jump right back into the ocean of love. Even if you couldn't call it that, you knew what it was. I knew what it was that night, and she did too. And in the morning, I said goodbye, and I meant it. So we tried to give each other space. We tried to let it go, and it worked. I mean, the logic was there, right? You can't argue with the logic. So I think it was about 4 months later. 4, still working on letter F sound, and it's tough. 4, remember, I'm being pinched. 4 months later, I get a phone call. Bling. Oh, it's Raven. Hey, what's up? She says, well, I think we need to talk. And I said, okay, you know, let's talk. She says, no, I think we need to talk in person. And I said, well, you know, we're supposed to be done with that, remember? We can't do that anymore. She says, I think I'm pregnant. And I said, oh, wow, you know, who's the lucky guy? She says, well, I haven't been with anybody since you, Bishop. And I said, oh, guess we need to talk, huh? So I got out of work. I went right to her house. And I said, what do you mean you're pregnant? She says, well, I think I felt something kick. I said, well, was it just gas or, you know, something you ate? Or come on, give me something here. She says, no, I can feel something, Bishop. So we talked, and I said, you can't possibly want to keep my child. You know, you can't. And she said, yeah, I'm going to keep him. He's my miracle baby. And I said, Raven, you're not a good mother to the kids you already have. You want to bring this other kid into the world, this innocent soul, and you can't. You just can't. He's going to have no father. He's going to have 2 older stepbrothers who are going to torment him, because I've been an older brother, so I know what happens to younger brothers. You know, they're going to duct tape him to the tree in the backyard. They're going to go off and see their real dad, and my kid's going to be like, hey, where's my dad? I said, Raven, I don't want to pay you child support because you're going to spend it on weed, aren't you? I begged her, and I pleaded with her, and I tried logic with her, and nothing worked. I tried to threaten her. I said that I would not let her have my kid, and that if she refused to give him up, that I would just go in there and I would take him, or I would kill her, and I would kill myself. And I was adamant, I do not want to have this child. I do not want you to have this child. And she was adamant. She's Taurus. And Taurus and Aries. So Raven Taurus insisted that she was going to have my child. And I insisted that she would not. So I refused to leave that night. I wanted to stay with my kid, you know. And to think that my kid was in possession of this woman was scary to me. Like, it's almost like they're being held hostage, you know? So I woke up the next day and it felt like a nightmare. It felt like this can't be happening. This just can't. And I think I called in sick to work, and I spent the whole day trying to talk to her, and she said, well, let's go to the doctor and let's figure out, you know, if I'm really pregnant or not, because we could be having this whole argument for no reason if I'm not pregnant. So we go to the doctor, and they do the ultrasound, and I'm sitting in the chair trying not to say anything because I'm not a happy person at this point. And the nurse is doing the thing with the gel, and then she's got the ultrasound, and she says, oh, yep, you're pregnant. Looks like about 4 months. I'm like, no. Ah, okay. At least it's confirmed, right? The nurse stops at a point, and on the screen, you know, that I can see, there's a big white circle around one particular body part. And Raven's laying there. She can't see the screen. The nurse says, would you like to know the sex of your child? And Raven, of course, says, no. I'm really hoping that it's a girl. I have 2 boys already. Please, can it be a girl? And I don't say anything because I'm looking at the spot on the screen. And there's and I'm like, oh my God, that's got to be my kid. I mean, look at, he's huge, right? So we leave that doctor's office, and now there's a war. There's Bishop and there's Raven, and we're on opposite sides of the fence. And what can I do? Please, Raven, tell me what I can possibly do to... There's nothing I could say or do. I refused to leave, and Raven was kind of okay with that because I think she knew that she held all the cards. She controlled the narrative, and life was tough for a while. If a baby takes 9 months and you're four months pregnant, that means you got another 4 or so to go, a second 4 months. So for that second 4 months, I stayed with her, and I mean, I brought her dinner, I helped buy groceries, and we smoked some more weed. We had more sex because it was too late now, you know, we couldn't unpregnate. And, you know, I just sort of, I told her how I felt, and I told her all these scenarios about how it would be And one of the scenarios that came up was that I would stay with her and I would try to help her raise my child the best that we could. And I said, you know, this might be a possibility, but it's going to be so hard. You and I are not very compatible. I am very critical. If I have a kid, I'm going to stay with that woman for the duration. I'm not going to do what my parents did. And that is not a good situation. It's going to be a reluctant type of relationship. And those don't work very well when it's forced. Forced. Yeah, I'm going to get it. The days went on, the nights went on. I would have nightmares. I would dream that I would cut my son's fetus out of her belly and I would drown it in the bathtub. So much blood. I had dreams of setting the house on fire. I had dreams of killing myself, hanging myself, just sick, twisted, tortured soul. You know, I so badly did not want to have a child. So it got to the point in my mind where I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to kill Raven, and then I'm going to kill myself, and there will be no child of mine on this planet Earth. But I realized that by doing so, that I would take away her son's mother. Her son's mother? It's tough when there's an apostrophe. Sons. So I didn't want to take anybody's parent away from anybody's kid, and I didn't want to take anybody's kid away from anybody's parent. So I was stuck. If Raven was going to keep my kid, I was going to have to keep Raven. And when my son was born, my life changed. You know, here he was now. He was in my arms, and I was going to have to do my best, and I was going to have to be committed, and I was going to have to learn how to love Raven, learn how to love her sons as if they were my own. And I instantly became a family guy, even though I didn't want to, you know. I had to, and it was tough. That first year, that was really tough. My son would cry. I didn't know what to do. My son would get hurt. I would flip out. I was a helicopter parent. Oh my gosh. I wanted everything to be perfect all the time because he's my one and only kid, you know. I'm sacrificing my life, which sounds funny because I didn't have much to lose, you know. Before my son came, I had nothing to live for, nothing to lose. But all of a sudden, Raven gets pregnant and now I have everything to lose. Yeah, that's the math, right? So I tell my son, I promise to him that I will not leave him and I will try my best. And from that day on, my life changed. We had a lot of weed, a lot of sex, a lot of fun. We went camping, birthdays, piñatas. That's all another tale. But we're going to fast forward to the point where about 5 years ago, Raven and I had to split. We'll save that story. I became single, and I thought, you know what? If I'm going to have sex again with other people, I need some birth control. So I looked up the vasectomy. I said, hey, I think that's right for me. So I went and talked to the doctor, and it was like $100 for a consultation. So you go in, the doctor sits there with his clipboard, and he says, oh, Bishop, you had kids? And I say, yes. And he says, so you know this is a non-reversible, or it's very expensive if it is reversible. You know, you're going to have to pay a lot of money if you want to try to have your own child again someday. So I need to ask you a couple questions. And I said, okay. He says, are you sure that you want to do this? And I said, yes. And he says, Bishop, are you very sure, certainly sure, you're not being coerced? Nobody's making you do this? You're here of your own free will? You want to do this? And I said, yes, I'm sure. His third question was much like the first two. He says, Bishop, I need you to tell me once more. I got 3 lines here, and they're all the same. Are you sure you want to do this? And I laughed a little bit. I said, yeah, Doc, I want to do this. Check that box. He says, yes, sure. Can we get past the 3 questions now? He says, okay. This next question is going to be different. He says, I need to examine you. Examine? Yeah. I need to examine you. Oh, yeah, okay, sure. He says, well, I need you to stand up and pull your pants down so I can examine you. Oh, I don't know doctor language. I'm a simple guy. So I stand up. We won't recreate this. This is just story time. Drop my pants, and he reaches down there and he starts peeling around, and then he says, okay, you're good. And I said, wow, doc, $100? $100 to ask the 3 questions and to give me a feel ski? He laughs and he says, yeah, I know. That's the way it works. So come back in a week. I come back in a week and I am scared. I am so scared. You know, of all the places on my body that a guy was going to take a scalpel to, my downstairs, that's pretty off limits. But I had this memory of Raven and I arguing about having a kid. And I knew that I didn't want to have that argument with anyone else ever again for the rest of my life. So I said, Doc, I'm ready. So my appointment's on a Friday. I walk in, it's like 2 p.m. And I know at my job how I start to get right around Friday. At the end of the day, I want to get it done. Let's go home, start our weekend, forget all about the whole week. So I walk in and I say, Doc, how many of these have you done today? He says, oh, like 3. Wow, 3, and I'm your 4th? Am I your last? He says, yeah. Wow, Doc, so I'm looking around at his little office, and I said, is there like a tip jar? Because I've never done this before. It's probably like a $50 tip. 20 just doesn't seem right, and 100 might be too much, but I'm willing to throw down, you know, if it makes you... He says, no, not necessary. He says, I'm good. I do this for my own reasons, to help other guys who don't want to accidentally procreate. And I said, Doc, you are an amazing person, and I thank you, and I'm going to lay down here. I'm going to take off my pants. I said, I don't want to know what you're doing. I'm going to pretend I'm somewhere else. He says, yeah, that's okay. I don't have to give you the play-by-play. There's no commentary here. It's just you and I, okay? I said, cool. So I'm going to take my arm, and I'm going to put it over my eyes, and I'm going to go to my happy place. My happy place is the woods behind my house as a child. In my day, there was Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and He-Man and Conan the Barbarian, and I would go into the woods, I would fashion up weapons, and I would hack the trees, or I would pretend to fight orcs, or I would pretend to fight trolls, or, you know, I would be Luke Skywalker fighting Darth Vader, or sometimes I was Darth Vader. But anyway, I'm laying on the table, I got my pants down, my junk is exposed, and my arm is over my eyes, and the doc's doing stuff down there. I don't know, he gave me a shot, so that part was a little bit painful, but after the shot, things were pretty numb. He was asking me about my kids, because it's an easy question. You know, if you're getting a vasectomy, you've had kids, the doctor's telling you about his kids, we're just 2 guys talking about our kids, and all of a sudden I can feel, he says you got like strands that are the size of a spaghetti noodle. So way up here, one spaghetti noodle goes down to this testicle, and one spaghetti noodle goes down to this testicle. He makes a little cut, and then he starts to pull your spaghetti noodle out of your body, out of your sack. And he pulls as much as he can get because he wants to create a break. And not just a little break, he wants to create a big break. So the more that he can remove, the better it is that there's no chance you will re-heal, or they'll find each other and reconnect. So he's pulling the spaghetti noodle, and I can feel that pulling on the inside of my groin. Is that the right word? And it feels incredibly weird to have someone pull something attached to your insides outward. Pretty weird. But I told him I didn't want the play-by-play. So I'm in there saving Princess Leia, and he's doing what he does. After a little while, he's got this little R2-D2 machine. It's sort of hanging out right next to me, and it goes beep. And I ignore it. I mean, doesn't mean anything to me. He goes beep, and then again, beep. So I'm like, Doc, what's with the beeps, you know? Is this bad? Is this a bad beep? Am I going into cardiac arrest or something here? Should I be worried? He says, no, Bishop, we're good. The beep is to signify, the machine says that it's capturing an electrical charge. I'm electrically cauterizing you. And I'm in the darkness of my arm, and I'm thinking, electrically cauterize. I think I know what both of those words mean. I mean, I know what electric is. Cauterize is where you burn something, right? Okay. The machine says, beep. So with every beep, there is a corresponding wisp. And the air in the office is starting to smell a little different. Almost like if you burnt some bacon, but not just a little bit. We're talking about black bacon. It's been on the stove for a couple hours, just crustifying. Is that a word, crustifying? So I'm like, Doc, it smells really bad. And he kind of says, what do you mean? Yeah. Okay, Doc, you're used to this, aren't you? The smell of burnt spaghetti noodle. Oh, yeah, he chuckles. Yeah, it's pretty bad. No, it's really bad, Doc. And I'm like trying not to gag as he's cauterizing my spaghetti noodles. It's soon over and the machine stops beeping, and I'm glad because that little R2 guy, I was getting mad at him. But he sews me up. He sends me home with some medicine. He says, put this gel, it's like a cream, put it on your spot, your wound, for the next 7 days. Keep it clean. Thanks, Doc. I pull my pants up. I don't see the tip jar. I look him in the eyes and I say, thank you so much. You don't know what this means to me. And he says, yeah, I do know what it means to you. And every guy I do this for says the same thing. So I'll remember him for the rest of my life. He's an awesome guy. I went home. I think I sat in a hot bathtub. I think I was probably told not to sit in a hot bathtub because, you know, you get bacteria in there and all. But I just wanted to feel something familiar, you know. I laid in bed. It was a Friday afternoon, and I just sort of healed. They say ice pack, you know, get the peas, put the frozen peas, bag of peas, wrap it in a towel, then put it there. I didn't. Honestly, guys, I just didn't think about it. I watched TV, I played video games, I drank beer. So the days went on, and you don't think about it. You don't think about your junk. You don't think about anything sexual. You don't think about masturbating. You go to the bathroom, and that's it. You pull your pants up, you wear some soft underwear, and you just forget about it. And it's okay. It takes a couple weeks before you can get back in the action. For me, it was about 3 weeks. But I go back to work on Monday, and I get asked sometimes, Bishop, what do you do for work? You know, what's your day job? And I said, well, you're not going to believe this, but I drive a public bus. Beep, beep. Being a bus driver is a whole nother tale. Maybe we'll get to that. But at this time in my life, 2017, I had just broken up with Raven, and I had just had a vasectomy, and I had a new job. I was learning how to become a bus driver. So our company has an 8-week training course, and during this time, they will put you in the bus, in the chair, and your trainer will, you know, an experienced bus driver, he will stand right behind your right shoulder, and he will tell you stuff like, hey, make this turn wide, or you're going to have to miss that curb, or watch out for that sign. Do you see that bicyclist, Bishop? Bishop, there's a bicyclist. Do you see him? And you got to be like, okay, yep, good, click, yep, I'm good. So one of the things that our bus has is a safety feature. In the chair itself, if you do not have enough pressure on the chair, as in your butt is not in the chair, there is an alarm. And it's a high-pitched squealing, ee. It's worse than that. This is to say, hey, there is no driver in the chair and the bus is in gear, which means this bus is going to take off that away and there is no driver. So, ee. So I'm driving around Monday and I'm a little bit uncomfortable. I'm squirming in my chair. I'm touching things. I'm shifting my weight and things are just not comfortable. And every time I shift a little bit, you know, you bounce, the alarm goes off. And then you pretend it didn't happen because you're busy driving. After like the 5th or 6th time, my trainer, he says, "Hey Bishop, what's going on with the alarm, man? What are you doing?" And I'm kind of like, nothing, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. He says, "No, come on, what are you doing down there? Are you okay?" And I said, "Okay, man, I don't want this to get out because my coworkers, it's like junior high. You know, they spread rumors, they talk, they laugh. We're a fun bunch of people, let me tell you." So I said, "Hey man, I don't want to tell my secret, but if you can keep it, I went and had a vasectomy on Friday and things are a little bit sensitive, you know, and it just doesn't feel good down there." He laughs, he goes, "Oh, you got a SNIP job?" I said, "Yeah, I did. It's okay, it's healing, but it's still a little weird, so I might set the alarm off a couple more times. In fact, I'm gonna do it right now. There we go. Ah." So he can't stop laughing, and he says this is the highlight of my day, which is cool to me because my discomfort made somebody else happy, smile, laugh. It would be bad if my discomfort caused somebody else, you know, to feel sad, or I don't want that. So I said, "Okay, man, but you're going to keep it secret, right?" He says, "Yeah, I'll keep it secret, SNIP job." So I finish out my day and go home. The next day I'm walking through the halls and people are like, "Hey, what's up, SNIP job?" And I'm like, "Oh, no. Sometimes they'll just see me and go, "Yeah, I became that guy somehow. That was my nickname." Guys, if you're thinking about it, if you're thinking about vasectomy, the answer is probably yes, you should do it, okay? There is nothing worse, nothing scarier than having an accidental child. If you're with a woman and you want a child, good for you. I did not have that feeling, and I made the best of it. I was with my son for about 15 years, maybe 14. The only right answer I can tell you is that it's okay, and there is a level of fear, a level. So you and I can say we're afraid. I'm scared. I'm scared of having my junk cut. And there's no way to measure it, okay? You can't say on the scale, I'm a 7 in fear, because my 7 in fear might translate into your 3. We can't know each other's fear. There is no standard for measurement. You guys, wouldn't this be awesome? If you're a smart person out there, can you please come up with a measurement, a universal measurement for things like fear and love and pain? Oh my gosh. I can tell you right now that my teeth, my pain level is probably a 6. It hurts. But you can't translate that because you don't know how hard that hurts, you know? If your fear is a 10 and you're scared of vasectomy, listen to me. You can turn it down. Turn it down to 2, okay? You're in good hands. And the doctors nowadays have come a long way from how it was. My doctor snipped both ends of my spaghetti after pulling as much as he could. And he electrically cauterized it, and he tied one end into a little knot. That's your testicle. Your testicle has like a little string coming off it. That's the spaghetti noodle. He took that and he turned it into a knot, and then he cauterized it so that it floats around in there now and it doesn't get weird. People ask me if it's still the same. Does it feel the same? Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it took me 3 weeks. Guys, don't do anything for 3 weeks. Maybe it'll take you 4. But having an orgasm, it is a little bit different. Do you know that the Eskimos way up north, they have 17 different words for the word snow? 17 different types of snow. There is, and we're not talking about the snowflake, the actual snowflake, because each of those are unique, right? We're talking about the heavy snow, the big fat snow, the skinny little hard snow, the snow that comes down sideways, the snow that stings your eyes. 17 of these, okay? And they all different word, because snow is a big part of their life. So I think as humans, we have 17 different types of orgasms. It's true. We don't have different words for them all. Maybe we should. But after my vasectomy, I think I lost about 2 or 3 of those orgasms. As in, I can only now have about 14 different orgasms. And those 14 are really good. I'm happy with them. Do I miss the other 2 or 3? Not really. Do I miss the argument with Raven about keeping my child? Yeah, I don't want to do that again. So for me, I feel safe. Vasectomy, you know, you still have to have safe sex. There are still STIs and infections and herpes, but no pregnancy. And to me, that's worth it. I would go get 6 vasectomies if I had to. I do not want to have an accidental child. And if you're thinking about accidental babies, you should probably go get the vasectomy too, okay? Guys, when you're out there and you tell a woman that you have a vasectomy, the amount of respect that you get, I mean, you earn points big time, because most guys do not feel like it's their responsibility to have birth control, and it's the woman's responsibility. And we put these hormones and these chemicals and these metals inside a woman's body just so that she won't get pregnant, and we expect that that's how it's supposed to be. It's the woman's responsibility because she carries the child, right? That's so broken. It's so wrong. It's both people's responsibilities because both people create the child, right? Why should a guy not be responsible, you know, for his own birth control, especially because it's so simple? It's a couple SNIPs. It's a spaghetti noodle. You know, you don't miss it. You don't use it. And we torture our women by making them endure and punish their bodies, and it's just not right. You know, you can argue with me all night and all day. You know it's not right. Come on now. So do the right thing. Go get the vasectomy and be proud of it. Be proud of how you contribute. Your contribution, right? You're not accidentally making kids. That's a big thing in our society right now. You don't have to pay child support. Let me tell you, vasectomy, maybe $1,000. Child support, I paid child support. I paid a lot. So I hope you don't have to, and I hope you don't have to punish that innocent kid, because it's not really that kid's fault, huh? It's not. So yeah, don't make it up to the woman. Don't. There's one sure way that you as a guy can control what happens to an innocent child's life. Do the right thing, okay? Spare that innocent child all that trauma and all that horror. You know it's the right thing to do. I know it's the right thing to do. Every woman out there knows it's the right thing to do. So it's time. Wake up. You guys, thanks for listening to my Bishop Tale. Let me know what you think, huh? Was it too long? Was it good? Was there some funny parts? I love reading your comments. I love hearing from you. I hope you're good out there, you know? Do your training. Conquer your day. See yourself. Protect your peace, okay? Bye.